What's up, YouTube? Today we're talking about the top 5 coolest instruments to learn how to play and how you can start doing that today. Check this out. One of the great things about electric kits is you can create your own drums. You don't have to use what they have built in the system. You can actually make your own drum kit based off of your own preference. There's so many options to choose from when it comes to an electric drum set. If you're gonna start playing an instrument, don't buy the cheapest thing you can get your hands on just to get started. And the reason why I say that is a lot of people, they'll buy something very cheap, and what ends up happening is they lose interest in the instrument because the quality is so bad. But you can spend around $400 to $600 and get an incredible instrument to start off with. Have a look at these options that I have for you right here. First kit on the list, it's made by Alesis. It has the mesh heads, which I like much better than the rubber ones. This is their base model electric kit, and it runs around $380. Great price. Number 2, this kit is also made by Alesis, and it is exactly the same one as the kit you saw me playing. The only difference is this one is the newer version and it has the mesh heads. This kit will run you around $672 plus tax, which is not bad at all for everything that this kit will do. Number 3 is a Roland. Guys, this kit is definitely a step above the last two by a long shot. What's so great about it is you're only going to pay about $100 more. It's going to be about $800 plus tax. Totally worth it. This kit's truly amazing. Yeah, and if you really want to do something great, make sure you hit subscribe. Great bass players already know how to play the drums. A lot of great bass players already know how to play guitar, but they choose bass as their main instrument because after learning all these other instruments, you find your niche when it comes to the guitar or the drums or the bass. You figure out where you're best at. You figure out the best musician in you when you know more than one instrument. Number 1 is a Squier bass with an amp. Great option here for your first bass. It's going to run you around $200, $250 plus tax. This next one here is also a Squier, but this is more of the vintage look. It's definitely a little bit better bass. This one is without the amp for about $200. And the last one, my favorite, this is a Sterling by Music Man. This bass is going to run you around $320 plus tax, but it is totally worth it. Music Man instruments, they just really make the best stuff. My opinion. A lot of guys who buy a bass like this end up doing a happy dance, and they look something like this right here. That's not how I do it though, okay, so don't, yeah. One of the great things about keyboard, just like these other instruments I've showed you, is there's so many effects to choose from. There's so many options that you can choose from. Let me give you an example. of people who sit in front of a piano or a keyboard for the first time, it's almost like they're intimidated. There's so many keys, there's so many options, there's so many different buttons to push. There's so much going on here. Where do I begin? But guys, let me tell you, it's a lot simpler than you think. This is number one on the list. It's made by Yamaha, and to me, Yamaha and Roland make probably some of the best keyboards out there. But this is their baseline model. This keyboard's going to run you about $250, and it's going to give you everything you need for a starter keyboard. Number two, this keyboard here is called a Smart Keyboard. It's made by the One Music Group. This is a very neat keyboard, guys. If you are starting to learn how to play keyboard and you need something to help train you, this is the one. Alright, this keyboard is going to run you around $300. Number three, last but not least, the Roland Juno. My favorite piano synthesizer keyboard out of any of them. I absolutely love this keyboard. This thing can do anything, guys. Sick sound effects. If you got a little extra dough to spend, you can order this bad boy off Amazon for about $800 plus tax. There is a lower model than this one too. Once you click on the link, I think you can find it in there. Definitely my favorite keyboard. Now, moving on to our next instrument.
It's the electric guitar.
Guys, this guitar is a cheap, basic model Squier Stratocaster, but yet it still plays so good. That's why I'm saying you don't need to buy the most expensive thing. You don't need to buy the cheapest thing as well, though. However, you get something, a combo package, you can do so much with an electric guitar and a pedal, such as this one. You really can't see it right here, but if you look down, there's a pedal right there, okay? Now what that pedal does is it allows you to have different sound effects. Now I'm going to give you a couple of random sound effects that are built in this Line 6 pod pedal.
Another thing about electric guitar is you can really write some cool music. I never knew the way you loved me. Yeah. I never knew the way you loved me. Yeah. Writing music becomes a whole nother level of fun.
If the electric guitar is an instrument that you're thinking about buying, I want you to check out these options that I have for you right here. Number one is a Squier by Fender. This is the exact same guitar you saw me playing on just a minute ago. This guitar is going to run you about $150 plus tax. Number two, this one is also a Squier. It does have a lot more with it though. It's a Telecaster for beginners. It's going to have a clip-on tuner, the cable, the amp, the gig bag, pretty much everything that you need to start off with. And I love a Telecaster. Great guitar to start with. If you got this package here, all you would need is an effects pedal to go with it. This one is made by Line 6. Awesome effects pedal. Line 6 makes the best multi-effects pedals out there to me personally. This one's going to run you about $300 plus tax, and all these items so far that I've showed you, they're all free shipping. So I saved the best pedal for last. This bad Mamma Jamma right here. The HD 500X is truly a remarkable pedal. It's my favorite Line 6 pedal. What makes it so awesome is the effects that's built in it, the amplifiers that it's replicating. It sounds just like the real deal. So it's totally worth $450. This thing is so sweet. I promise you it will have you singing like,
oh baby, 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 baby.
This instrument is definitely my number one instrument on the list today. Not that the list was in any particular order, but for this instrument specifically, the acoustic guitar is a great instrument to start off at. Okay, it's a great instrument to purchase. It's a great instrument to play, to write music on. As we're looking at this instrument, I just want to show you a couple things that we have on here. I have a capo. I'm also going to put some links in the description for a few different capo options that you buy. And what the capo does for all you beginners out there is it allows you to change the key of whatever song you're playing. Okay? And I'm going to change that to a different fret now and play the same chord. And as you can see, it just changes the key of the song. So this is basically what a capo does. Another thing about this guitar is it has a built-in EQ and tuner and volume adjustment. So that means that this guitar can be plugged in or played without being plugged in. Now, what you're seeing here inside of the guitar, okay, this is called a feedback buster. And I'm going to put a link in the description for this as well. This little gadget here is very useful. This kind of dampens the way the guitar sounds, and it allows the guitar to be played a lot smoother, okay? The acoustic is a really great instrument to write music on. It's also a really great instrument to learn music on.
Yeah, well, she says, baby, it's 3 a.m. and I must be lonely.
So number one on the list here, I've got an Alvarez, and this is their baseline model, but anything in Alvarez is going to sound great. This one in particular will not be an acoustic electric, which means it won't have the ability to plug into an amp or a PA system. But this one's going to run you around $200, which is a great price for acoustic that sounds this great. Number two is their next step up. Now this one is an acoustic electric, so you can plug it into an amp or a PA system. It's also going to have a built-in tuner, and it's going to have the same kind of sound quality as all Alvarez do. They're very bright guitars. They have a lot of tone. This guitar in particular has the cutaway in the body, so you can really hit those higher frets. This guitar is going to run you about $270. Be sure to click on the links in the description below if you want to check out these guitars on Amazon, and make sure you get yourself a capo. Being a musician is more than just being on a stage somewhere. Being a musician is more than just playing your music in front of people. It's experiencing the music firsthand, how it feels when you play something and you successfully do it the first time. That's what's so special about being a musician, is you get to experience the reality of what music does to you. I want to share with you guys an experience I had when visiting my grandmother at her nursing home. When we got there, we got her out of her room and we said, hey Grandma, let's go to the lobby and just kind of hang out in there. We'll eat and just kind of talk there. When we got to the lobby, you could see all the residents in the nursing home. They were just kind of hanging out in that area, playing games, sitting there watching TV. And in that room, there's a huge piano. And I looked at my grandma and I said, hey, I'm gonna go play a song for you, Grandma. And she said, okay, baby. And I went over there and I started playing Amazing Grace and singing it. And out of nowhere, I just started hearing all the residents start singing with me because they knew the song. But the people who were singing, 90% of them had Alzheimer's or dementia. And most of them didn't know who their own family was anymore. And in a way, it's sad, but it's incredible at the same time how they knew the lyrics to this song, but didn't even know the person sitting next to them. And I asked one of the nurses, I said, how is it that they can sing this, but they don't know their own family? And she said, in dementia and Alzheimer's patients, the last thing to go is music. The last thing to go is the music side of their brain, the part of their brain that has music memory. It's pretty incredible, right? Alright guys, thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe below and hit the bell notifications. There are more videos coming your way with more stuff about music for musicians, for beginners. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget, hit subscribe. Peace!